Hi, everybody. Russell the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. We're just entering the last minute of the game. West Ham 2, Derby 0. Derby 2, West Ham 0. Progressing through, hopefully, unless there's a massive issue, to the next stage of the. Let me just see the ball's just coming across. Just trying to see whether there's any chance of a third little bit into play there. Ben Rama, the ball's going to play. Through fourth round FA Cup. Obviously, the winners were going to be playing Man United at Man United. As I said, there was a stat going around on Twitter, something like in the last decade, we've been drawn against the Greedy Six 16 times. Someone from the Greedy Six. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, it's a strange one, really, because it's just like, why do we always get drawn against these teams? Why? I must apologise. I'm in the front room, not in the garage today. Miss Budden is still she's it's finished. It's finished. So the final whistle: West Ham 2, Derby 1. That's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. Absolutely fantastic. And through 2 goals. Was impressed with. I was impressed with. Antonio. Thought he played well. Thought Finn Downs played very well. They gave Fornals the man of the match on the telly. Andy McCoist gave him that. Yeah, I thought he did okay. I thought he played well. I thought Finn Downs played very well. I was very impressed by Finn, and we'll be joined by Mr. Baker, I'm sure, very, very shortly. Yeah, how bloody quick are you? You can see him in the background. But yeah, so 2-0, David Moyes. 4 goals, 2 clean sheets as well. And let's have a look. I heard a few. We've got David Moyes chants on the other thing on the telly. Can believe it. Like, are you sure we've got Super David Moyes? This is exactly what we need. Are you sure? But that's apparently that's what they heard. I heard him. And so there we go. We the winner.
Hello.
Hello.
Because you're the host, aren't you? Go on.
Am I?
Yeah, you are.
The host.
We're the host for the most. We won. We're through. We played Man United again. 16th time we've played a top 6 side in the last decade in the cup.
Oh, look at Moisey. He's clapping the fans. And what are the fans doing back to him? They're clapping him as well. Oh, how the tides have turned.
I told you. I heard we've got Super David Moyes chants in the crowd.
Yes, I did as well. Yeah, we did. Also heard some crazy naughty ones as well. So
yeah, they had to keep saying apologies for anyone who can hear the West Ham.
I think we need to apologise because Happy sent me one and I've put it on and it's come through. But listen, we're through to the 5th round. Do you know what? You can only take on who's in front of you, and I like when you play lower league opposition. There's always that banana skin. There was so many doubters for this game tonight. There really was. So many doubters, and I get why people think like that. You know,
totally.
Without how our season has gone, I get why people think like that. Even without the way the season's gone, because we are usually the team that would step up against the lower league opposition and lose. We've done it so many times before.
Yep.
So for me, there was loads of positives to take from that tonight. We've done the dirty over a lower league team who by the way, are absolutely flying in League One.
Undefeated in 19.
So let's get that right. I watched and read a lot of people saying we may struggle.
Yep.
And they were right to say it as well, but we've done a job, mate. We've come over and beat them. And then that adds to the value of the positivity and the consistency that David Moyes is looking for. And West Ham need, even forget David Moyes for a minute, West Ham need that kind of positive spin, run on. I can picture people going, it's only Derby County, it's only the FA Cup. It doesn't matter because apart from Wolves aside, we beat Brentford, we got beat by Wolves, we beat Everton, and we've beat Derby. And now we need to put this form into the Premier League. It's going to be tough, but step up to the plate and do the job.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we've been saying all along, isn't it? It's about momentum. You know, you need momentum, and wins doesn't matter who you play in front of you. Wins, scoring goals, it just is. It snowballs. It's a snowball effect. Now, this is what I've been saying all season. How we've been playing, you know, defensively we've been playing well, but we haven't had the rub of the green. Both of those goals today could have easily not gone in. So Bowen's shot took a mass. You know, the keeper got some of it. 6 months, beginning of the season, that was flying. The keeper was doing a great save. Antonio as well. It took the cross took a deflection to him. Now before things weren't falling for us, and so maybe our luck has turned. They should have got a penalty on Ben Johnson as well, of Curtis Davies. That was a penalty, but you know, maybe we shall see. We shall see.
I just think that either way, whatever game you're playing in, you know, you need that. Probably bores people, but the confidence is the massive thing. So
yeah,
we've done that today. But let's dissect it a little bit and look into individual players' performances. When you need players who have underperformed this season to start performing, albeit Brentford, Everton, Derby, you can look at the opposition and think, oh well, you know, whoopee do kind of thing, and people will do it like that. But when the going's tough and goes against you, you want players like Jared Bowen to score some goals. And Matt, he did tonight, didn't he?
We said the players need confidence, and especially like you said, it's such a bizarre thing considering how bad our defensive mistakes have been. But I think we've still got the second best defensive record in the bottom half. I think only like Aston Villa have got a better defensive record in the bottom half than West Ham.
Yeah,
we just haven't been scoring goals. Like Russ said, like, you know, that first goal, I think Flynn Downs, I think, wins it. Fornals plays that ball over the top for Antonio, and the defender like throws a leg out behind him and, like, you know, almost scorpion kick on the volley, flicks it over. The second goal, sorry, for Bowen.
Yeah,
and you know, like you said, Bowen puts it across, and if the first defender doesn't go for it, I'm pretty sure Curtis Davies in the middle just clears it. But because he's gone for it, it takes that bit of a nick off him, and it gives Antonio a tapping at the far post. First goal, you know, the first goal needed the confidence. Did he get that confidence from the goal against Everton? Like you said, that was one where he's got a foot on it, and we've been saying for like how many months, like we've had so many chances where you're like, if it's 2 yards to the side of the keeper, you score, and we hit it straight to the keeper. And that was one where Bowie's literally, I've got to get something on it. He's put it 2 yards wide. The keeper's got like half a leg on it or something, but it's wide enough that he can't save it and it's gone in.
Exactly.
And it was.
You're totally right. You're totally right. It's these little half chances which we haven't. I'm going to take him out because I don't want to just look at West Ham on there. It's these little half chances which hasn't. And that's what I've been saying before. They haven't been falling to us, and the last 2 days, last 2 games, they've fallen to us, and it means that, yeah, as you said, we've capitalised on them. I mean, probably these last 2 games are probably the best 2 games I've seen Antonio play all season. Same as Jared as well. And
is that what I was saying in the game? Is that because of the formation? Is this the formation Moyes wanted? Has he finally got at least some of the players fit to play the formation that he wanted? And all of a sudden, because Anton's been saying it for a long time that, you know, playing that 4-2-3-1 with Soufal behind him, who's not the quickest anymore. Bowen spent so much time going that way that he's done nothing going that way. And all of a sudden, you play 3 centre backs with 2 wider centre backs having pace, wing backs. He hasn't got to worry because if the ball goes in behind the wing back, you've got Everton. It was Zuma today. It was Kira. All right, Kira still didn't look as composed as Zuma, but for the most part, he did what he needed to do. He had a couple of shaky moments, but the position was there. Bowen then doesn't have to worry about coming back. So he can then go and do what he's been doing, which was interchanging with Antonio. Yeah. You know, in the first half, it was the front 3. And even then, Moyes, and, you know, give him credit where it's due, he still actually did something he never does, which he made tactical changes during the game. First half was a 5-2-3.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, he made it was Antonio and Bowen as a front two, and it was Benrahma and Bowen as a front two, and Fornals played as like a number 10.
Yeah.
And it went to a 5-3-2. But with the fullbacks, they don't have to track back, and Bowen can then go and do his attacking stuff, which is what we want to see him do.
And you can see the thing with Emerson as well. You know, Emerson's come in the last 2 games, and I think he's two of his best games I've seen him play for us. He seems to really get that role, and with Aguerd behind him as a backstop.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. It was Aguerd, and I think I said it after I can't remember what game I was thinking of, and he done it, and there was a Bonner. I don't know if he played back 4. I don't know if it was like Brentford. We played Ogbonna. Like Aguerd played right at the back 4, and Ogbonna and Creswell both played. And Aguerd still spent most of the game over that side, almost covering for both of them. And you thought, well, if he can cover for both of them, why would you not then play Emerson, who does get back and does track back when he's forward? But when you've got Aguerd there, he's not as worried about the pace. Because I'm not being funny. If you saw the end of the second half, the difference once Creswell came on was like night and day from when Emerson went off. Like there was almost no attacking outlet from the supposed left wing back because Creswell's not the pace to do it.
Can I just come back to your point there about Ben Johnson and how it allows the other players to get forward? I've actually brought his heat map up just to show you. Yeah, okay, it's against Derby County, but I mean, it's the whole dominating the whole right hand side, but he's not just equally defending; he's getting forward. That's exactly what you're looking for.
Halfway line. That's like you spent it. Really, the first went back was like 35 yards in his own half. Which, if we were playing a back 4, you know, full well, like there was a couple of little specks there at what you'd call, like, you know, the natural right back position. And if he's playing a back 4, he would have spent most of the game playing there. Whereas having, as I said, whether it's Johnson or Soufal, or I was going to say Kira, but I think now with Zuma, that will probably be Kira's spot. You know, that would not surprise me. Maybe you swap out Soufal for Johnson, but that for me, that is your back 5 going forward now. It's at least for the next month.
It's having the settle back 5, isn't it? That's the issue. Go on, go for it.
Can I just add? Not just because it's on the point of Ben Johnson. So I've actually gone all the way back to March last year when West Ham played Aston Villa. We won 2-1 at home. Ben Johnson played right back and then switched to left back. It's just to show you the consistency in when he plays and what his heat map looks like is where he plays. Now, while you're talking, I'm going to bring up the comparison of Soufal. As much as I love the guy, I am going to bring up the comparison in a minute. I don't have it just now, but it's just giving you a little bit of insight. So, you know, there's his 1 year ago heat map of where he is. This is his game today against Derby County of where he is. I'll bring up Soufal in a minute just to show the comparison.
Yeah, I think for me, it's about having this settled side now, because it's pointless. You know, we've chopped and changed so much. I mean, I went back and looked, and you know, we haven't played the same 11, let alone the same back 4, let alone the same back 5 all season. Really, more inconsistent games. I think it's once or twice. I think we've done it inconsistent games, and that's what it is, because that breeds it's muscle memory. And you know, I mean, the fact is, you know, Zuma's injured, so you know, there's going to be someone else playing as that third centre back, whether it's Kira, whether it's a new person we bring in tomorrow, who knows? Probably not. But probably yes. Yeah, you got to tune in and listen to the whole thing just in case. But that's for me is the next step. You know, as you said, two wins, 2 clean sheets, 4 goals. In all honesty, Derby didn't pose much of a threat. I thought Flynn in the middle was fantastic, just breaking up play, playing it simple. I thought Aguerd was phenomenal. Again, his range of passing, but also he's bringing it forward in the second half quite a bit, which was nice to see. I mean, you know, if he can stay fit for the rest of the season, touch wood, we've got a hell of a player there. Hell of a player.
I mean, Aguerd is a ridiculous, literally, genuinely a ridiculous human. Like, in terms of, it's what we've been crying out for years. A player who's calm, collected on the ball, who doesn't panic. Like, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about the balls that he sprays 70 yards away.
Yeah, don't panic.
But but in actual fact, some of the other stuff he does that goes under the radar. I think at one point during the game, Areola plays the ball to Gerd, and this is when Derby are pressing West Ham extremely hard. And he goes to make a pass, but he can't because it's not open. He turns as if he's going to pass the ball back to Gerd. He reads the game so well.
Yeah.
He makes the Derby player run by him and plays the original ball he was planning to do, but he's just removed the Derby player from the game. It's like a chess game to Gerd. And he's he reads it. He's a fun. I think that was one of his major attributes, and that's what David Moyes does say about him. But one of his major attributes is it's not the fact that it's his ability. He reads the game, and no other defender, actually, in my genuine opinion, Ogbonna doesn't read the game to the level Agerd does. Nowhere near it. Kira doesn't read the game to Agerd does. The only player I can remember recently in the last decade to read the game like Agerd, but I'm not saying he's on the same wavelength as Winston Reid.
I knew he was going to say Winston Reid.
But it's the truth. It's the truth, though. He read the game. That was his ability. That was his thing. That was what he brought to the game. So you don't have a defender now that jumps in and goes wild. He may do that once in a blue moon, and you expect that from a defender. But when you build from the back like that, and you've got the confidence, albeit, again, respect the opposition, League One opposition, I get it. People will go, blah, 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 blah. It's League One, it's League One. Well, yeah, it's League One, but you still need to beat what's in front of you. And teams, especially teams like West Ham, when you're struggling, without struggling, we can always have this banana skin, but we've not done it tonight. But Agerd, man, I mean, Everton, every game he's played, I've not really seen anything that's made me go, he's shit.
No. And every game,
I don't think he's had a bad game.
No, he hasn't. No. He's developing every game. You can see he's growing in confidence. As I said today, there's a lot more. If the ball wasn't on, he'd bring it forward and he'd take it on himself.
I mean, we were talking about it in the watch along, and there was that one in the second half when he drove forward. It was near the end. It was not the last 15 minutes. He pitched it off the midfielder, shoulder bars the other midfielder off him, sprinted past three players, and then he fed in Benrahma almost at the corner flag, and it was like he was playing like the left wing back, and he just bombed on from the halfway line. No, just keep going.
I thought when Benny came on, we looked really sharp. I know we were 2-0 down. I know 2-0 up. I know we were playing against Derby, 70 minutes gone. But some of the passing second half was not, again, we know it's Derby, but it was nice to see. We've seen some really crap football this season. It was nice to see some, just to see some decent passing. As it granted, it was, I know we got to caveat it always, so that we were playing a League One.
I don't like this caveat, right? I was a League One side, right? I don't like that.
No.
Because go back on the last 4 years, Oxford, AFC Wimbledon, we have played League One, Championship, League Two sides over the last 4 years and have been absolutely spanked, and not just in results, as in we've rightly been spanked because we've been genuinely awful. Yeah. Like that, is it AFC or what was it? AFC put 4 past us, AFC Wimbledon, or was it Oxford?
Oxford.
When we had what's his name in goal?
Roberto.
The Spanish keeper. Yeah, Roberto. We have Roberto in goal. So, yes, it is. You've got to beat what's in front of you, but it wasn't the fact that we beat it. The only thing you could have said is they probably should have had a penalty. That would have made it 2-1, and that may have made it more interesting. But apart from that, the closest they got was, what was his? Lewis? Is it Dobbin?
Dobbin, the Everton loanee.
He had a shot straight at Areola in the last 10 minutes. Apart from that, the only chances they had was the number 9 that twice tried to handball it in the back of the net from across. And even the commentator was just laughing. I'm like, I suppose there's no VAR, so it doesn't hurt to try, does it? That was the closest they got. So, yes, it's Derby. But, like you said, we played good football. It's another clean sheet. We scored 2 goals. We've got the rub of the green on the goals.
Yeah.
And certain players are coming into form. Like you said about Benrahma. Benrahma looks like he's developing a very good relationship with Emerson.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
You're
there was
right.
one time
100%.
Emerson won the ball and he flicked it in Benrahma come inside on the halfway line to get it, sucked 3 players into him. And Benrahma didn't even look. He just played it first time, back round the corner because he knew Emerson was gone. But then when Creswell come on, you saw that Benrahma was like, oh no, I'm going to have to hold this up now, knock it back, and I'm going to have to make running behind because Creswell's not doing it. But you had the Emerson link up with Benrahma. Fornals looked good in the middle. Bowen and Antonio both got a goal, which we needed confidence. Aguerd and Ogbonna look really happy together. And, I mean, Areola took his crosses. Like, I'm trying to...
Yeah.
Let me just go back to the kind of Sefal, Johnson, Bowen situation. This is Bowen's heat map against Everton, that game where Cornet got injured. Sefal was there. Again, I'm just using one little brief example here, but you can see the amount of times he's called back. The arrow kind of defines to you what way Bowen should be. And then this is Bowen's heat map against Derby. Completely different, not having to rely so much on that position of tracking back as much, which is definitely a lot better. A player, though, I want to talk to you about, Tommy Souček. I mean, Russ, talk to me about, I know the connection from Tommy Souček is Flynn Downs.
Yeah.
And before you do it, let me give you some of the stats on Flynn Downs. Played the full 90 minutes. He had 64 touches. He had 93% pass success rate. 2 key passes in the game. He was accurate with 3/4 of his long ball attempts. He won 3/4 of his ground duels. He won 100% of his aerial duels. He only lost possession 6 times in the game. And to add to that, his counterpart in the midfield, Tommy Souček, 90 minutes, 68 touches. Accurate passing was 82%. He made 6 accurate long balls from 9 attempts. 1 big chance created. He won half of his ground duels. He won 100% of his aerial duels, although he did lose possession 15 times, but he was playing a little bit further forward. What's the impact there of the Flynn Downs effect, Russ?
Well, we know Flynn, because Flynn lets him play, and we know what Flynn does. And I know huge one in the chat isn't a fan of Flynn Downs by the looks of it. But for me, what he does, he does what a young Declan Rice used to do. He just sits there and he makes other players play better. Do you know what I mean? I think if he's not there, I think then Souček can't go in front. Souček can't move forward. In the same way, that's the role Declan Rice is playing now for the club. He's staying for the Premier League side. He's staying in there, keeping that defence as an extra, almost like an extra defender, really, breaking up play, passing it to the likes of Paqueta to go and play more forward. And I don't agree with that 93% all backwards. I thought actually sometimes he played some really intelligent balls, but. We see the game differently, don't we? We see the game differently.
I agree with that as well. I agree with the fact that we see the game differently. However, I think we, as a fan base, underestimate the backwards pass. Absolutely. And what I mean by that is, let's go back to the Man City game, first game of the season. That's all Man City did against West Ham. They kept the ball in their own half. They played the ball back. It was the most dull, boring 2-0 win I've ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
And that's how Man City did it. They beat West Ham by playing 2 penetrative passes through our defence that Haaland just bossed and got the ball and won a penalty and scored the other one. And it was all down to backwards passing. And when you go sometimes across to like Barcelona and Madrid and you watch some of their football, yeah, okay, penetrative passes, get the ball through. They keep possession. What do? They play the ball back. Loads of people do it. Now, I genuinely believe for a fact that Downs adds that little bit of ability, like allows the players to play football. And if you and I'm going back to the game. I'm trying to think of the one where Declan, right? What game was it? Was it Wolves? What was the game that Souček didn't play in? And it was Rice and Paqueta.
I think it's Wolves. I think it's Wolves.
Or was it before that? I think it was maybe even a couple of games before that. Yeah. And I tried to do like a little bit of a kind of analysis on it. And I don't know. Remember, we did the show, the 5 things we learned from that game. And even though Rice had a fantastic game, Rice had no one to support him in the middle of the park. Nobody there. So Rice was doing triple the work that he had to do. And having a Flynn Downs who just dominates in that area. I mean, I'm looking at his heat map. He's a ridiculous, his performance tonight in terms of his heat map, in terms of his passing, in terms of ability, all that sort of stuff. He was all over the park. Now, and there's a key point there from Paul. Sorry if I'm jumping in here, but Downs does not give the ball away like others.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting to get at to jump in on. Is that you can say, 93% of his passes were backwards. I could not give a flying monkey's nutsack if they're all backwards. because we've sat here for 6 months and watched Souček not make a 5-yard pass. Like, I don't care if it's backwards if we're keeping the ball.
Right.
Souček has had so much pressure not keeping the ball.
Huge. I'm sorry, quickly. I have to reiterate what I said. I am not saying that Man City play the ball backwards all the time. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they play dull football all the time. I'm not. Listen, I know that. I'm just generalising that game against West Ham. That game against West Ham was shit. And Man City fans were bored. Guardiola was only happy for 2 reasons. They walked away with 3 points and Haaland got the goals. But apart from that, when you watched this post-match presser, he was raging because he was like, that was not the way we want to start the season. Just like just like Pep does in press conferences, he judges his team when they win and he goes, this is not the Man City team. This is not the Man City team. So going backwards, I give up. You want to win anything going backwards and backwards. I totally disagree with that. I'm sorry, Huge, and we're entitled to our own opinion, but I really do disagree with it. I disagree with it.
You have to attack, but for starters,
you have to.
If you go on Twitter and look, ITV literally did a little bit on him at half time in the first half.
Yeah.
On Downs. Appreciation thing. And they were like, look, I can't remember which one it was. It might have been when Antonio put Fornals in and Fornals like didn't shoot and cut back. But it was like literally, look, here's them attacking. Downs drops into the space, reads the pass, wins the pass, played it forward to Antonio. It took 3 touches. The second goal, Flynn Downs won the tackle, passed it off to Fornals. Fornals then played the more difficult pass. Every single player in your team doesn't have to be a Kevin De Bruyne. Like, you're talking about... You're talking about Man City.
Yeah.
For the last how many years, forget the last 2 seasons when Rodri's come in, for the last 10 years before that, regardless of whether it was Yaya Toure, David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne, the 3 of them that played at Man City midfield played it alongside Fernandinho. And what did he do? Pass it sideways and backwards. His job was to win the ball back, retain possession and pass it to the better players. Every team has that sort of player. Even pass backwards constantly, but people said that about Rice when Rice started. People say even now, he's a sideways passing merchant.
But even Xabi Alonso done it. He was an expert at pinging the ball 100 yards up the field and picking out a player. He dropped deep all the time, but his one of his big effective parts was breaking up the play and playing the ball backwards and playing the ball sideways. That's what these players do. Mascherano, that's what he did. Like, these players are all about that. And Flynn Downs, I think, for me, brings that confidence to the other players, to allow players like Souček.
He was under pressure. There was one point, I don't know if it was the first half or second half, he won the ball and he passed it. He did pass it away to Souček. And Souček passed it straight back to him. And he had one guy literally right on his back, like literally grabbing his shirt, pulling him. He had 2 guys in front of him, Flynn Downs. He's getting closed down by 3 players. And you thought, he's going to lose the ball here. And he managed to maneuver his ball and then look up and see the fact that because the 3 players got sucked into him, Souček was open in the middle of the pitch. So he played a simple 10-yard square pass, but all of a sudden, the game's opened up. Now, yes, you can't do that all the time. You couldn't have 2 of those players in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
But if Deck is going in the summer and he's going somewhere else, could you put Flynn Downs in alongside Paqueta? Yeah.
I tell you what, though, someone in our chat, Russ, is it Mandy or Joan, has been calling for Flynn Downs. I think a lot of people have Flynn Downs with Paqueta and Rice. The more I see Flynn Downs, the more I see and I said to you tonight in the watch along, Matt, do you want to see that trio in the midfield? I tell you what, mate, if Flynn Downs sits there and lets Rice and Paqueta go 10 yards further forward, then to add to that, this comment, where is the comment? We need someone said we need a through ball specialist. Yeah. Paqueta a little bit further forward is Paqueta. That's him.
That second half, right? We played. I said the first half we played the 3-4-3, if you want to call it, or the 5-3, the 5-2-3. Right? We played with the wing backs. We played with 2 wide guys.
Yeah.
With Antonio by swapping. But in the second half, like I said, we played with almost like Rice, Downs and Souček sitting, and Fornals played number 10. Right? So why can you not play that next game and put Downs and Rice as the 2 defensive ones? Downs can sit. Rice can do the Souček job and get about more. and then you can play Paqueta in almost like a free role in a number 10 in behind Bowen and Antonio. What you can't get any work. What I would say is I don't want to sit here and actually be battering Souček because I thought Souček actually had a very, very good game. But like I said, is that because like even the first goal, right? Even the first goal, the ball comes into the box, it gets cleared out to about 30 yards out, and who wins the ball to recycle it and head it back in? It was Downs. Downs headed it, I think, into Antonio. He almost played then played a 1-2 with Souček. Souček headed it across for Bowen to score. But because he saw that Downs was literally just sitting 30 yards out, was like, I'm sitting here, you can now go forward. He doesn't have to worry about, when Souček and Rice play together and he's like, well, which one of us is sitting? Like the old Gerrard Lampard debate, you can't play them together. It's almost got like that because Rice wants to push forward. Whereas, I think, what was it one of the cup games at the start of the season? I don't know if it was a Europa League game or like the League Cup game when it might have been a Europa League qualifier or something. Downs played and he got in the box and he shot on his left foot and like almost skied it out of the stadium. And after the game, they were asking him about it on the post match, and he was like, "Yeah, I got a nosebleed getting that high up the pitch." Like even he knows he doesn't attack. He's happy to just do the unattractive stuff and let the attacking players do it. Now again, it's Derby County, but he did look like above what was most of the midfield options there.
Yeah. And it's fine though, the amount of times we've said during this show, it's Derby County. But if we go and watch every single one of even our YouTube channel, every other YouTube channel, every single bloody Twitter account, Facebook account, all I read was, I can see a slip up here. 3-0 Derby, 1-0 Derby, 2-1 Derby, blah, 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 blah. And it's not happened. And
it's very, very almost unicorn-esque rare for West Ham to play a lower league team in a cup competition and just put in a professional performance.
You need to clip that. Unicorn-esque.
Unicorn-esque.
I'm sorry, I was trying to find a way to say how rare it is. Like,
You're right, though. I mean, listen to Joe Cole, the punditry was saying, there's the only reason you guys are here is because you think that we're going to lose today.
Yeah. That was the only.
That's basically what he said.
I even put it in the group chat before the game. I said there hasn't been a
shock yet.
Well, I say there hasn't been a shock yet this round. So enter West Ham, and I said barring maybe they could have had a penalty in the second. They probably should have. Not could have had. Probably should have had. And had it been played at London Stadium, they probably would have had a penalty.
Yeah, because it'd been VAR.
Yeah, but apart from that, they didn't offer anything. They had that one shot from the Everton lonely centre forward that was literally straight at Areola in like the 87th minute or 82nd minute or something like that. It was in, that was their like one shot on target. And apart from that, like we said, the centre forward tried to handball the ball in the back of the net twice. That's as close as they got. Just
before we carry on quickly, if you are watching and you can't comment, that's because it's on subscriber only. So there's a lot of people watching that maybe aren't commenting and want to. That means that this is an opportunity for us to move away the bots from the system. So we just put the subscriber on for a moment, bots leave, but then if you want to comment, hit the subscribe button, then you can comment on the channel as well. And that just gives you a little update as to why maybe some of you can't do it. There's an option somewhere, depending on what device you're watching on, that will show that you need to click the subscribe button. I think 9 times out of 10, it looks a little bit, if we've got the image here, we do. It looks a little bit like this. If it's red, then you need to click it. It means it's grays out, and then it'll go from there.
But having said that, we now move on to what I said at the start of the watch along, I was like, I'm not bothered about this at all now because we've got Man United. And then I think the BBC correspondent for Manchester for football put out basically when the game would be played. And now the game becomes entirely very interesting. Because as Cess put in our little group chat, for the next 2 months, Man United play every 3 days. Right? And in around the time of this next round of the FA Cup, they've got Barcelona in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Probably, most likely at this point, because I think they're 3-0 up against Forest. They've got the Carabao Cup final.
Carabao Cup, yeah.
And then it will be slotted in a couple of days before they have to go to Anfield.
Okay, Sirrah.
So, you know what? it's actually a really good time to play him.
Yeah, great shout. Yeah. No, I think you're right.
But before that, we need to contend with the Premier League, and we need to do.
That's all right.
What we need to do. This is what we need to do. We
Try and get some points on the board.
We need to get some points on the board, and we need to, what a way to do it is by
What is
turning
it?
up St. James's Park.
Newcastle,
Chelsea, Tottenham.
Yeah, I think there's a game between Newcastle and Chelsea. I think. Because I was talking about earlier, I was always like Newcastle, someone, Chelsea, Tottenham.
But we need to do that. We need to do that. We need to get some points on the board, no matter what, over the next 4 games, and show the Premier League that we're here and we mean business, and the team are back in the manager's back in the team, and then suddenly, a couple of points, decent points,
a
couple of decent points on the board, and the next minute, the fans will start singing songs that we want to hear.
Chelsea, Tottenham, Forest is our next 4 games.
Yeah.
The return of Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
Or actually, the return of Michail Antonio, if you believe the rumours tonight.
Yeah. But I think with that as well. I mean, it's, as I said, but it is all about, it's about a winning mentality. So it is about keeping the good vibes. I mean, Moisey pre-match was asked, after the Everton game, how was training? He goes, well, with a win, everyone's smiling, everyone's really buzzing. It's an extra step, springing their step. Today you've had guys like Souček's, Souček's got some minutes, Flynn's got some minutes, Kira's got some minutes, Ben Johnson's got minutes, Ariola's back in as well. So these guys, and they've won a game, and they kept a clean sheet.
Getting sold tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they'll be gone tomorrow. Yeah, it's fine. We're bringing 10 in. It's fine. We're doing a Notts Forest. But that's why you got to tune in. That's why you got to tune in for the live stream tomorrow night. But it's about just keeping this momentum going. We've had
if you actually go all competitions now in the last 5 games, right? We had the 2-2 draw with Leeds. We had the 1-0 win in the cup against Brentford. Then we lost to Wolves in the league. Then we beat Everton. Then we beat Derby. So for a team that had lost, was it 7 or 8 games straight? Like we didn't win for like 2 months. Even though you'd say, Brentford put out their second team and it was Derby, that's still 3 wins in a draw in the last 5 games, which for West Ham, having been where we were, is confidence. And again, all of a sudden, you're not, West Ham aren't going into training tomorrow thinking, for fuck's sake, everyone's just talking about us now because we've got the David and Goliath upset against Derby County. They can go in with a bit of confidence while they all sit there in the canteen all day watching Sky Sports, seeing who's getting sold. Waiting for Kevin Nolan to turn up and go, yeah, pack your bags, lad, you're off.
Mickey, can you come here, please? Tilo, can you come here? Have you got your passport? Yeah. No, it's it's a weird thing because obviously everything that's been going on with the transfer window and stuff. You've almost like this game has almost been like a forgotten thought. We got Monday and we've had but actually it's been a good distraction. We've come out of it. We played all right. We kept a clean sheet. We won a couple of goals, and now we've got a clear run until Saturday. Maybe Emerson got a knock because he came off for Cresswell. That's the only thing I'd maybe.
He looked fine. I was saying I think that showed where Moyes' head's at.
Yeah.
If you look at the subs and he took off Antonio. Like he was like, what players are critical to the way we're going to play? Bowen and Antonio had to come off. Can't risk Antonio because he only sent it forward. Bowen, we haven't really got any other wingers. And for this back 5 to work, as was shown for 15 minutes at the end of the game, that back 5 does not work if you don't have Emerson.
Have mobile fullback. You need mobile wing.
I'm not even joking. If we had to play a back 5, right, and Emerson wasn't fit, I would legitimately rather play Aguerd as a left wing back.
Yeah.
Because he's got pace and he knows how to get forward and dribble the ball. But Aguerd's still got pace.
Can I just slightly...
in the game today.
Slightly off topic. Does everyone like Matt's new house? He's moved into his new apartment. I think it's lovely.
Beautiful, Matthew.
It's absolutely beautiful, mate. What made you choose those 3 players, mate? Are they your 3 favourite players?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the way that, and I like your light. The fact that your light is lower than your posters.
The pictures, yeah.
So you can't see the posters because the light is shining down. That's changing rooms style. That's good days.
Changing room style. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Right. What does that mean then? Are we done?
We're done. I think we need to get our sleep because it's going to be a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah. So just to fill you in, there will be transfer rumors galore. So we're going to try our best to bring to you and dissect them a little bit. They're going to be short, sharp, straight to the point transfer rumor shows for you all day. So there's going to be plenty of them. So keep an eye on the channel for that as well.
We've got to track this Andre Ayew transfer.
Shush. I'm going to record that now. Shush.
On top of that, we'll maybe try and bring you some player ratings for today's game. We'll maybe look at doing some stuff on today's game as well. It just depends if we need to go to bed or not. But I do need to go. So we'll obviously thank you very much for watching. If you're new around here, subscribe if you're interested in becoming a channel member. Hit the membership option. Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
Off to the road to Wembley continues.
Irons. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, everyone. Come on, Irons.